let me know that you're looking up my stuff. I thought it's really good. I really did. Definitely you've done your homework. And now I watched some of your videos. Very creative. I gotta give it to you.
Oh, thank you.
You come your left field, and sometimes you come from the right.
Yes.
But what I thought was interesting, what you said, the only downside that I can put to you, because everything else looks upside, the only downside I've got, and I'm just laying it out there, is what I had in my mind, and you confirmed it on your website, interview with Klaas. Was it Klaas? The lady? One of your clients?
Oh, Dory Klaas.
Yes.
Yes.
In which you said, and you touched her up and you said, you need to touch and feel people. And I get that.
She has 2 gay children, by the way. She has 4 boys, two of them are gay. And she is a very holistic person. I wouldn't typically do that, but we were staying at a home. We'd been there for 3 days by the time we made that video.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
Matthew and John Robert, I'd spent a lot of time with. And they'd almost roughed me up, like, you look after my mom because she's spending a lot of money with you. And it's like, yeah. So there was some context to that, but yes.
No, but listen,
No,
but you're absolutely right. Face to face is wonderful, but I don't think it's that essential. But I think once in a blue moon, it's good to have contact.
Yes.
Because I think there's chemistry. Although chemistry does come across on video, you can get somebody. Either you get them or you don't get them.
Yeah.
And I knew from your website that I'd get you.
That's good to hear.
Now, you're an Englishman on top of it.
I'm actually a Manxman.
Ah, how interesting.
My family goes back to 1176 on the Isle of Man.
Wow.
Back to Viking settlers, a Jan McChristen who settled there and married and became Christian as an anglicized version of it. And thankfully, because of the birth, deaths, and marriages registers in the little chapels,
cool.
my father's cousin, who worked for the Manx Museum as a passion project, researched the Christians at Greenland and have a lot of history.
That's wonderful. Now, tell me something. How did you end up in Vancouver, which is supposed to be such a beautiful place?
It is. My dear friend from English class at high school became a nurse, and she was working in coronary care in the ER ward, and she was very, very skilled. And back in the late 80s, Vancouver specifically was very, very short of quality nurses. And they targeted British nurses with an unbelievable package, which was a guaranteed visa, all travel expenses covered, 3 months living expenses covered for her and her spouse. So at that time, there was a high commission in Dublin. So she went to Dublin, they were interviewed, they fast-tracked, and they moved in 3 months.
Wow.
And they kept faxing us back in the time. And
yes, when
faxing me letters saying, you'd love it here. You would love it here. So
I'm sure I would.
Yeah. So 1993, we came out here for a month when our eldest daughter was just born. So she was a free ticket on a plane. Loved it. Came back again in 98 when our third daughter was youngest, and again, free ticket on a plane. I'm a little frugal. And by the end of that trip, we just felt in our hearts, and I can't describe it any other than that this is where we were supposed to live. And at the time, I was actually living I was working in London in Cavendish Square, and I was commuting every day out to Farnborough, Hampshire.
Oh.
I was surviving. I was not thriving.
No.
And Total Oil, who I worked for, went through a merger with FINA. Then they went through a hostile takeover with ELF. And I went from being one of 8 very creative district managers with tons of autonomy, being one of 54 pencil pushers with a clipboard, being a day-to-day auditor. I went, you just stole my joy. You stole my joy. There's nothing I can be that's creative anymore. And I got a little belligerent, and they laid me off. And because they bought out the previous company that I originally worked for, which was my family company, I got 18 years tenure. So I got 18 months salary as my severance.
Nice lump sum to help you across the pond.
And here I am.
Well, I'm impressed. I mean, I think that's amazing. I salute you.
Thank you.
I just a little background on me. I was born in Sudan in Africa, Armenian background.
Yeah.
I was sent to boarding school in England at the age of 10. Survived, but I always was in love with America. So I ended up going to the States for 8 years. 1985 to 93.
Right.
And I was involved in commercial real estate, various other bits and bobs. And after 8 years, I wasn't making. I went there to make shed loads of money. That was the idea. And yes. I was kind of like not getting very far.
Okay.
And so we had 2 kids who were born in the States, so they're dual nationals.
Right, right.
And they were very young, so we came back here because my parents were here, my wife's parents were here, so we came back. But I kept going back and forth to the States because I was invested in a commercial property with my brothers, and my brother was looking after it. Actually, in the Spirit of Gratitude book, I talk about every single crisis in my life, which gives you the nuggets and the opportunities that came on the back of each one. And this bid, the story of this bid is I was involved in funding a litigation. And it was such a stressful situation for me that initially the first 3-4 years, I'm always ready for battle. I love it. I'm a kid at heart. I've watched too many, swords and sandal movies when I was a kid.
Yes, yes.
That's what you think that's what you want.
Absolutely.
And so I thrived on that. But of course, after 4 years, you think like, what the hell?
Yeah. God, that's
and I was dealing with a Chinese guy who didn't understand win-win.
No.
So cut a long story short, I think it was in my 7th or 8th year, I was taking naps in the afternoon. I was so tired. And my wife said, you better go see the doctor. There's something wrong. So I went to see the doctor, and doctor diagnosed me with my testosterone was on the floor. My thyroid was on the floor, the levels. And he said to me, what's going on in your life? So I told him the story. He said, well, you got to resolve this.
Yeah.
I go, I can't. Surrender is not an option. And the guy says to me, well, do you want to die? I go, no, that is not an option either.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
So he said to me, well, it's one or the other. I go, nope, there is another option. I need to go and meditate somewhere and just let it go.
Right.
Stop trying to control the outcome. Just let it go.
Yes.
So I went on a silent retreat in North Wales. 30-day silent retreat, boot camp.
Oh.
Now, I've never been away from my family. I've been married 35 years. I've never been away. I've been away 2 weeks max.
Yeah.
4 weeks, a lot of negotiations had to go through for that. And while I was there, you think that going in a silent retreat, it's a doddle. It's bloody hard work.
Really?
And it's really hard work. I mean, mentally, physically, because I was going out for two-hour walks in the afternoons up the, Welsh mountains, up and down. And in the process of that 30-day silent retreat, I managed to do an audit on my life. And the results were the stories that came out in the Spirit of Gratitude book.
Oh, okay. So were
Okay.
you with an order or something in North Wales? Or
Sorry?
who ran the retreat? Was it with an order or something?
No, it's well, there's a Buddhist retreat up there, and then there's this Jesuit retreat. I went to the Jesuit retreat because I'd always heard about.
They still wear the brown cassocks and everything, right?
No. But they're pretty. Even the nuns don't wear. They just wear normal clothes. But you're thinking of Dominicans probably, because the brown is Dominicans. But anyway, these are Jesuit. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But the point is that most of the people there were Methodists, Baptists, all the nominations.
London.
They just, and there was about 25, 30 of them.
Yeah.
Men and women. In that silence, oh my God. The first 3 days I was ready to shoot myself because I'm a talker.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But afterwards I went into it. It was very hard, very difficult, but incredibly productive in terms of, doing an audit on your life. It's just phenomenal. So anyway, the book was a result of that. And I'm now, the litigation hasn't finished. It's almost there. We're in the last sort of 20 yards after 12 years. We're in the last so many yards. I've cleared out a lot of stuff in my life. The commercial property that I was involved in, as you saw in that Facebook thing, we sold in November. We cleared out, literally, I was there a few weeks back and got my money out. And so to cut a long story short, I'm now looking to, in the last 3 years, I've been looking for a new avenue, and part of that silent retreat that I went into back in January 2016, 3 years ago, was what am I going to do for the rest of my life? What is it I really, really want to do? And so I've been exploring people, I've been reading all the sort of self-help books and all that stuff. And I went to Bob Proctor, and I think you know a few people who've been there.
More and more so, actually. It's right now. It's quite surreal. I'm just looking for my notebook, but carry on. Yes.
Yeah. So
there we go. Yeah.
So
event.
You have I think you probably even have a client, a Procter Gallagher client.
Several.
You have several. There you go. I'm sure you do. There's quite a few.
I was introduced to you by Kim Griffiths.
Yes. Well, she went to the Matrix with me. That's where I met her.
Your book launch in London.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. And I know she's doing a big thing with you on her book.
She is, and you're the voice of Mr. Crow.
That's right. You heard about that.
I'm deeply into this project.
Oh, right.
But yeah, and then Paul Cotter, who is her co-author.
Co-author, yeah.
Author. I've gotten to know Paul a little bit too, and then they keep telling me about other people, and other people keep showing up in my feed and commenting on my and my stuff. So yeah, interesting. I've never listened to Bob Proctor live. But I said to them yesterday, and it's definitely something I must go do.
Yeah, I mean, I went to the Matrix for a week with Kim, and he blew me away in a sense, because a lot of paradigms, we think we're thinking, but we're not. We have a mental program, and that mental program runs us. So while we think we're thinking, we're actually just cruising. We're boxed in because of our paradigms.
Right.
And that changed my whole perception. And I realized, if I want to be what I want to be, and I've come to this information only recently, if I want to be my augmented self, my best self, my augmented self, I need to be thinking like that, not thinking what I'm thinking now.
Got it. Yeah.
And what I'm thinking now is predicated on what I was thinking before, which is why I'm where I am. So to bring it to the business at hand, I was involved for 3 months with a Canadian lady in Toronto doing, her company is called Get It Done Marketing. Just Get It Done Marketing. She has 2-3 people. I don't know if you can actually get her on.
It's actually a Canadian phrase. There's
Just Get It Done.
There was an old show called The Red Green Show. There was this very Canadian mountain man, always in plaid, beard, baseball hat, cup of coffee, hockey, and his phrase was "Get it done."
Get it done. Get it done.
Just get it.
But well, the thing is that she was working with this Irish girl, social media person that I was using, and I was with them for 3 months, and they've got me about 350, 400 people. I must have spent with her just under £5,000 advertising. Sorry, £5,000 with her, and I suppose not just her, but with advertising, it's probably about £7,000, £8,000, $10,000, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't got very far in 3 months. And the targeting, and I'm not blaming her necessarily, because I think it's a combination of things. One of the things I discovered is I can't appeal to everybody on the internet.
No, and neither
That's just, it's crazy to even think you can.
Yes, yes.
And actually, I've kind of recognized that you need to home in and narrow it. Actually, the narrower you get, the more likely you could get depth and you can get real traction.
Yes.
I decided the one set of people that I've been avoiding all my life, old people, people my age, right? Why?
Yeah.
Because they are negative bastards, most of them. And no, but seriously, a lot of them are. So
my eldest brother retired last year. He's old, 61, and he is so cynical. It's just unreal.
Well,
if I just mention the word Brexit, it's just like,
oh, I know. I mean, I'm a very positive guy, and I go towards people who are positive because I like their energy and I need their energy.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
But what I've realized, because somebody pointed it out to me, that George, who is your avatar? And I go, I haven't got a fucking clue. And he goes, well, have you thought about people your age? I go, are you an ageist? What are you talking about? What age? I have no age. I'm ageless.
Me too.
And it made me realize that actually they are my avatar.
Yes, they are.
One of my, I've only got a handful of clients. My business is new. One of my clients, in fact, you probably can see on my avatar over there,
yes,
is a 77-year-old geezer, an American from St. Louis, Missouri, who travels back and forth to the UK twice a month. He's had 3 bypass surgeries and he's still gagging.
Wonderful.
I mean, his attitude is so positive. His doctors go, we've never seen anything like this. Every time after a heart operation, within 10 days, he's flying.
Love it.
And they say anybody else would do that, they'd be dead.
Yeah.
And the reason you survive is because you're
look at Joe Biden. Yeah. I'm just like Joe Biden right now. I mean, he's 77 and he's thinking about standing for president. I mean, ahead of,
you know something, I think the more you make it go, obviously within reason, without going stupid, but because you can still be president and sleep in the afternoons like Reagan did. So, it's a question of being sensible,
yes.
But you need ambition. Otherwise you're going to die.
I saw you had a review from Bob Dole.
Yeah. Yeah. That was way back. Yeah. That was way back.
Bob Dole.
But still, yeah. So here's the thing, Jonathan. My guy, 77, I have a video of him saying, George was amazing. I have more energy now. I have more this and more that, and I've got more business coming through I can't deal with. And it's all thanks to George. He changed my mindset. He got me to think differently.
Wow.
So I'm now trying to focus on older people. But here's the point. One of the articles or ads I put in with the Canadian lady from Toronto.
This is Hannah?
No, Hannah Kathleen is, yes, there's 2 Hannahs. There's Hannah Guerra, who's the Toronto girl.
Yes.
And there's another Hannah, who's my UK social media person.
Is that Hannah Hawkshaw?
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. Hannah Guerra is not as hands-on as your team seem to be.
Okay.
I've looked at your website, I've looked at your team, I've looked at some of the people and the stuff that you do, the involvement you get in the blogging, in the this and that and the other. You're quite deep. They seem to be much lighter, and because she only has one person helping her, or two people, she doesn't have the team behind her. So I think the deliverables are not as good. And she wrote an article on the back of one of her people wrote an article. In it, we talked about retirement is like cancer. I'm trying to get people to not retire, because retiring is, I use terminology that retiring has only been around for 100 years,
yeah, it's
120 years.
It's not a principle at all.
It is not.
Find the concept of, Abraham, and Isaac, they were in the 80s. Whether the 80s in the Bible are the same as the 80s in our time span, I'm not 100% sure. But
yeah, but but the thing is that the minute people retire, they're almost in God's waiting room.
Yeah.
Because everything starts to slow down.
Yep.
And things start to go wrong.
Yep.
And they have energy which they're not spending, so it goes into negativity. And
I have a mother-in-law exactly in that place.
we're surrounded by people like that. And my point was that I said, right, I'm going to focus on baby boomers. I'm going to focus on older people.
Yeah.
And I'm going to focus, because the age group is from 1946 to 64.
Okay.
So 10 years, people have retired already for 10 years, and there's another 10 years to go for people about to retire.
Yes.
So I'm figuring of helping these people.
Yeah.
Now, I can't help all of them, because probably 2/3 of them are negative bastards who think they're entitled to retire. Who the fuck are you to tell me not to? I know what I'm doing, so they're not listening. So I don't need those.
No.
I need the people who are not happy where they are.
Yes.
And there's probably more than enough of them.
Yes.
How do you get to them? I went through Facebook and LinkedIn with Hannah, with the two Hannahs.
Yeah.
They were getting me Facebook. I must have had about over 100,000 reach. And I only got about 400 people registering and interest.
Mm-hmm.
I was sending them free PDFs, free this, a free video, whatever. One of the videos that I used as advertising created more controversy, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, yeah. I saw a video that you said you'd made people angry, but I didn't know where that was from.
One of the videos, I actually still, to this day, I get stuff coming through. And I think to myself, if these people are really happy, why are they wasting their time responding to this?
Yeah, good point.
So, but the thing is, I use the word cancer because I said retirement is like a cancer. You can't see what it's doing to you.
Yep.
And people get back, you don't understand anything about cancer. Cancer is a very bad thing, blah, blah, blah. And I could go back and engage them saying, actually, yes, I have had cancer. And for 3 weeks, I was given 6 months to live. So I have an idea of what I'm talking about, but I don't want to engage with negativity. So I just stay away. Now, the Facebook people she was targeting were people in 55 and up across the whole of the UK with no delineation as to socioeconomic group.
Mm.
Now, if I've got a bricklayer in Middlesbrough or Cardiff who is exhausted, tired of laying bricks all his life, and he's looking forward to retirement, okay, he has no fucking idea. Retirement's not going to be a walk in the park.
No.
Okay, but he thinks it's nirvana.
Yes.
Who am I to tell him otherwise? So that's what I said to them. I'm not provoking you to anger. I'm provoking you to think, because nobody else is going to think for you.
Mm-hmm.
So to this day, it's the one ad which has provoked a lot of people. Now, I'm thinking to myself, 80% love what I'm saying. 20% are getting angry. I can't focus on the 20%.
No.
But here's the thing, and this is the clincher. I had a workshop on Saturday.
And yeah, I saw the ad for it.
In Penny Hill Park. Yeah, but you're gonna fall off your chair when I tell you this. Penny Hill Park, a beautiful place. We got a room called Buckingham, which could take about maximum 30 people sitting down.
£497 for the day, right?
Yeah. The Hannah in the UK arranged for a phone marketing company that she met on one of her networking events. And he said to her, you know, we can do this job for you. Calling the 400 people and getting 30 people in. A week before the event, I call them. What's going on? How many have you got? I need names. I need numbers. I need to know where they're from. I need to gauge. Yes. I need to gauge where these people are coming from, what their socioeconomic thing is, so I can pitch my talk specifically, tailor it.
Yes.
Trust me, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. In the morning of the event, first of all, I had booked 10 people, so I'd paid 50% for 10 people. Because of his guarantee, Hannah had increased that to 20. So I'm now liable for 20 at 110 quid a piece, cost, including lunch, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So basically, the day of the thing, they came up with, sorry, we don't have any delegates. Now, normally, first of all, I would have gone ballistic a week before, normally, right? But I said, I just got to let this go. Let's see where this takes us. I don't know whether I did it subliminally because I wanted to see what our guys are going to do. And if they're going to screw up, that was going to give me the opportunity to move on. I don't know what was going through my head.
Yeah.
But I said to myself, I can't worry about every single detail.
No.
I got to worry about my presentation and what I'm going to do, and I'm going to focus on that.
Yes.
So on the day that happened, I normally would have had a ballistic fit with Hannah, who had come over with her mother to help me for the event. I decided, I said, I've got to turn this into gold. So I connected with the events team and I said, look, cancel the food, cancel this, cancel that, cut costs everywhere. And ended up paying £1,500 so I'm £1,500 under with no event. But I didn't pay Hannah this month, so that covered me okay. Plus, I was able to work with her in that room. So we took a 30-minute video on the 7 steps to mindset mastery. That was the 30. It's an intro to the event that I was going to do, so we could promote it or sell it for a very low number just to get people interested. Then we did a 20-minute video on the secret formula, which is the Napoleon Hill discovery. And then I did 6 2-minute videos for Facebook and LinkedIn on pain points in retirement. So I tried to get the maximum out of us, which took an awful lot of energy.
It would.
And the next day, of course, I was in a slump on Sunday. I'm telling you this so that you get an idea of what's happening.
Yeah, I appreciate it very much.
So I said to Hannah, look, I want to put a stop to the Just Get It Done marketing. We've had a 3-month trial. I've got 0 clients out of it. I've put an outlay of money, no return. I know these things don't happen overnight, but I'm not even getting any visibility as to, I'm not even connecting to the people that I want to be connecting with.
No.
And so I can't go forward. I have one or two other people I need to talk to, and then we can come back and talk. And I said to Hannah, look, I'll keep your small retainer, because I want to keep her on side. I want to keep her sweet.
Yeah.
She does a lot of small things for me, so I want to keep her sweet.
Yeah.
But I said I need to look elsewhere. And I spoke to Kim the next 2 days later, and I asked, and that's how you came up. There's one other company that I'm talking to in London. They're a little bit more expensive than you, but they have proximity, but there's a difference. They're not as engaging as your lot. I mean, I can tell from you know, I know it's not just pictures, it's the whole your website, your ethos, the way you do things. It comes across, even without me talking with you, it just comes across. And with them, they're very sort of, with the Brits here, they have very pretty faces, very pretty names, very pretty, you know, kind of custom-made website, and all looks really, really good. But these guys are commuting from Basingstoke. They're not, you know, they're not.
I used to go watch movies in Basingstoke. That's the only reason I'd go there. But anyway, yeah.
Sorry, who lives there?
I used to watch movies. There was a great movie theater in Basingstoke.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is a lot of these guys are commuting. They're tired. Yeah. They've got 25 clients.
Yes.
They're pressed for time and money.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. You know,
here's my. And that line you can see is the Washington state border.
Okay. I'm just thinking, who else lives near Abbotsford? Is Angie Tomlinson
she lives in Vernon, which is about 4 hours from here.
Oh, is that far? Oh my God.
Yeah, and in fact, that's how Kim found me.
Oh, through Angie.
And Angie found me through a photographer called Bob Cameron, who'd been through one of our classes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
I just closed my blind again a bit. It's a bit bright.
That's okay.
But yeah, no, I deliberately took the commute out of my life when I moved to Canada. And the plan was to set up my own business. And initially I needed to just earn income. So very difficult job market to break into, because I didn't really have any formal anything. I mean, I was brought up in a family business. You know, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm very creative. I've worked in corporate. I worked in not-for-profit. Family. I had so much experience, but nobody could translate that into a Canadian experience. So
right.
I dumbed down my resume and I started. I worked at a furniture store selling furniture on commission.
I've worked in a furniture store. I know where you're coming from.
Talk about humility.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And the management structure of this company was so testosterone loaded, and I would just look at them and it's like, I have a brain the size of a planet compared to you, and I could eat you for breakfast, but I'm just going to go through the motions because I need a job and I need to prove that I can do what I say I can do in this country.
It's a horrible place to be, but I've done that, been there, done that. And I know
very humbling. But it was the right thing to do. And then
you've been in this business. You've been in this business now 10 years, from what I can see.
Actually, 15.
15.
Yeah, I had to rebuild. Rebuilds are too faceted word. I had to rebuild my life and my business in 2009. I was at a red light, and somebody tried to jump the light and ended up crashing into me. And
I read that. Yeah,
I was in a very bad car accident. Had I not have been in a Honda Pilot, which is an SUV, I probably wouldn't have survived. My daughter definitely wouldn't have survived. And I broke my neck. So
shit.
I had 2 herniated discs at the back of my neck that were unrepairable. I was in chronic pain. My right arm was numb. And the only solution was keep popping OxyContin, which I was eating on a regular basis because it was the only thing. Tylenol, T3, and Oxy were the only things that made a difference. Not a good place to be.
No. How did you get off that?
Surprisingly, really quickly.
Really?
I took it when I needed to. I didn't take it just because.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wasn't very cohesive when I did take it. It's strong stuff. And so really I lost my business because I just wasn't on my A game. So I had some friends who I had a not-for-profit, and I still consulted with them, and they were very generous and very kind, but I know I wasn't delivering my A game. So they came up with some revolutionary surgery for Canada, which was to replace the discs in my neck with titanium discs, like manufactured, handmade, exact replicas of my spinal discs.
Wow.
Only the second time he had done it, he'd learned in Germany, and I was like, and the risk, he said, was, well, there's a couple of things. He said, first of all, we could completely ruin your vocal cords and you may not ever speak again. Second of all, if we touch your spinal cord, you will be paraplegic. But on a good day, this might work.
Jeez.
And it was a very good day.
Yeah.
I had people all over the world praying for me, and I'm a bit of a man of faith, and it worked without a hitch.
That's wonderful. Wonderful.
The hitch came in that I had a 9-month recovery period where I wasn't, I mean, this was the heaviest thing I could lift. Wow. I was not allowed to do anything strenuous, and he just wanted me to sleep. Just like, stay at home and sleep. I went, I have a business. It's already gone to hell because I haven't really done very much in the last 6 months. And he said, well, you have one chance. You can get full recovery by doing what I tell you to do, or you can go rogue and ruin it. So wow. I was a very good, my wife says I was not a good patient, but I was. Anyway, for me, I was a good patient.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I have a similar story, but it's not a car accident. I was diagnosed with a bone tumor and given 6 months to live. And it's in the book, and the audio is coming out soon. But I'll leave you a few surprises. Okay. But here's the thing. Yes. I've looked at your website. You offer quite a package there. In an ideal world, I'd like to say to you, yeah, give me the titanium one.
Which is what my neck's made out of.
Yes.
Hence the name, yeah.
Is that how you got the name on there? I'm assuming that's how you got it.
Yeah, because this is how I got into social media. This is how I got into online storytelling, because I was landlocked at home.
Got it. You see, there's an opportunity in every crisis.
Oh my word. Yes.
So
I think there's a book about that.
That's right. But here's the thing, coming back to my situation and what I want to do. My sense is that first of all, I want your honest opinion. You've been through my website. Mm-hmm. Have you been through the Spirit of Gratitude website? Mm-hmm. You did, where they show the book and the event. That's kind of like a glorified landing page for events and retreats. That's all. But the George Jurgen website, let's take a quick look at it. What is your genuine...
All right. Let me just share my screen.
Okay, yeah.
Wrong screen. 1 sec. Monitors, and I just picked the wrong one. Okay. So,
Hannah did this for me.
I don't dislike it at all, actually. A couple of things I would say.
Yes.
Because when I do a social audit, I always look at everything. So you have a very interesting Twitter account, but you don't tweet.
I don't tweet. I don't tweet at all.
So what I would love you to do is just, because you've got one post that's pinned to the top, which is this one here.
Yeah.
Let's create one more post.
Yeah.
And either a short video or a graphic, and say, hey, this is George. And you know what? I don't tweet, but I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, and here's a link. See you over there. And let's just move on.
Okay. Sounds like good.
Because it's a good idea to have a Twitter account. It's another line item on Google. But if I arrive here and it's like, oh, really? There's nothing here. It always does me more harm than good. So rather than delete it, because it's your name, you own it, keep it.
Sure.
But just do that. And then
I get it.
And then obviously, because it's linked to your LinkedIn.
Of course, yeah.
One thing I like about your LinkedIn a lot is that you actually tell me what you do.
And it's interesting, yours is not dissimilar. But you know, Jonathan, I've got to tell you, I went through a South African guy called Matt Clark, who said most people have a CV on LinkedIn.
Yes, they do.
You need to have a sales page.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
And so I changed this to a sales page.
Yeah, you're absolutely right to do that. Yeah, and you actually tell people how you can help them, and that's exactly what I would suggest. What we are missing is underemployment. Obviously, you've got lots of things that you've done in the past.
Right.
But what I would love is this page. We could pad this out a lot and make this page really work for you, because Microsoft bought out LinkedIn, as you probably know.
Yes.
And the whole idea of them doing that was to stay in the HR recruiting world for all of the Office suite services, but also to try and stop people going back to Google. So you can index yourself way stronger on LinkedIn than you can on Google.
Right.
So if we were to make this a second mini website with video, because you can upload video to this, testimonies, case studies, we could make this page sing for you, because right now
I get it.
But yeah, so that would be a beautiful thing. And then this, I mean, the photography you have is first class. I mean, I have a 33-inch monitor. It's filling my everything. I mean, it's really good. I love the colors. I mean, I get all the pieces of this.
Which site are you on?
This is the spiritofgratitudebook.com.
The spiritofgratitudebook.com. Yes. I'm with you. Okay. Yeah.
So that's one I found. Obviously, this told me about the book. When I found it on mobile, I thought, oh, and I saw the menu, and all the menu did was it just put me to a different piece of the page. I went, oh. So, I mean, it's some good stuff here, but the menu on mobile just takes me to different pieces of the page rather than taking me deeper. So, I mean, it's a landing page, and it was okay. But what I wanted to do was get into this. And now I love the fact that you've got active video as it arrives. I mean, so we have 3 seconds to decide if we're interested or not. And I'm interested because I'm seeing you being engaged in what you're doing. And this is very well done. Love the colors. They're very contemporary colors. I can see that you've been picked up by other people, which is great. This is where I start to get lost a little bit.
Yeah. I agree.
Because it's a lot of black and white, and there's nothing to captivate me at this point.
Totally agree.
This would be my place to put an actual video of you talking to me, like a 30-second why you're here. And I think just for now, the biggest thing that I think people forget about a website these days is it's not about us. It's about the pain that someone is Google trying to fix. And if they can see in this homepage that you understand their pain, and that by working with you, there may be a solution to that, we'll get them then to go to page 2, page 3, page 4.
Jonathan, I'm sold. The fact that you just said that, all right, the fact that you just said that, it resonates, because I've come round to that. It's not about me.
No.
Yeah, my website, it's not about me. I mean, how counterintuitive is that?
Yes.
And I get it now. And so the thing is that I need somebody who can, at some point, I think every year one needs to change one's website.
And we're just in the middle of changing mine, funny enough.
But I've literally got this up in the last 4 weeks.
I like it very much. It's got some beautiful graphic elements.
I think it needs tweaking, and I think it needs to be more powerful. So I need to, the website tweaking is an important thing. I think the LinkedIn and Twitter, all that, rejigging it and, making it stronger and more powerful in terms of pain points is important.
Yeah.
But
the biggest thing that's missing, I mean, by a long stretch, is your blog. There isn't one.
I don't have a blog.
No, I know. And it's the fundamental piece of the strategy that will make it work is not here.
So here's the thing. How do I blog? Am I supposed to write this shit?
No. And this is where the biggest roadblock in blogging has happened for so many people, is that it's like, it's all in here and it's centered here. But when pen comes to paper or you start to type, it just becomes such a barrier that it doesn't happen.
So how do you do it?
We don't do it that way. We do it this way. You and I talk, my little red dot in the corner is recording. And then at this point, once we've covered off a topic and we've gone deep, I transcribe your words that we've already spoken on video into the blog for you. We send it back 800 to 1,000 words. We pick the very meaningful pictures, ideally that are pictures of you and your clients, not stock photography. And then we trim the video so that we create it into what they call a blog, a video log as well.
Yeah.
Because YouTube's the biggest unused tool for most people.
Yeah.
The attention span.
I totally agree, and I don't think I'm using YouTube enough.
No. The attention span is 7 seconds now for the human being online.
So how the hell do you get a message in 7 seconds?
Well, you either take them over to YouTube. If you take them to YouTube, they will watch a 20-minute video, because typically most people have a second monitor or they're on YouTube. They will watch. If you put that video on Facebook, they're probably gone after 3 seconds. So Facebook's, the way I like to describe it is, if you had a garden party and you invited everybody around and everybody's standing around the back garden and it's beautiful and we're eating cucumber sandwiches and having tea or a nice, sangria or something, and say, George, I'd really like to talk to you. And say, great, come into the house, let's sit in the study and let's have a conversation. Facebook is a tea party. Your study is your blog. And it's when people are interested enough to find out about you that they go to the blog, and think of them being in your study like you are now, sort of talking to me. That's what the blog's about. Going deep with your avatar in mind and then getting it. But some people want to consume that by video. Some people want to skim it down. So there's like 4 or 5 bullet points, that what we call H2 tags.
Yeah.
Words that they get the bullets. And if they're super interested, they'll either read more, or we'll have a call to action that says, if you think George is hitting the spot for you, then we need to talk. Here's a little form. We don't have a lot of time to talk to everybody, but if you're serious, fill in this form, we'll look at it, and if we think we can help, we'll get straight back to you, we'll schedule into a calendar, we'll talk within the next 2 days.
Okay.
That's kind of what Profit does as well. And
I get it. I mean, that's fine. What was the other question I had was, what is your sense of my Facebook videos that you've been watching? What do you feel you get?
I love them, actually.
You like them?
Yeah, I do.
Is it engaging?
Several reasons. I mean, first of all, they're very well produced. Good lighting, great sound. The background isn't too confusing, so there's plenty of. My wife and I are just working on my background because it's kind of gotten a little cluttered, and I'm very conscious of that. So we were just doing our feng shuiing of my bookcase. I like it. 2 things I would do. First of all, I would caption them, because 80% of video on Facebook is not listened to. And Facebook will tell you that in the stats. So most people, and because you're standing and you're animated, but not outrageously so. Yeah. If there's captions, I'll read the captions. And the length is bang on. That 2-minute window is bang on. So I think they're really, really good. But what we want to be able to...
When you say caption, you're talking about subtitles.
Right, my Americanism, yes.
No, that's okay. That's okay. But how the hell do you get captions?
It's so easy. It's so easy. Facebook actually has software embedded. So when you upload that video natively to Facebook, so it autoplays, when you click the 3 dots at the top and you click edit, and then you click the word captions, it actually has software that actually reads your voice and creates the captions for you. You just have to edit it to make sure that the ums and ahs and it might not recognize a word, and it's done in 6-7 minutes.
Bloody hell. Knowledge is power. Oh, dear.
And this is what I've had to recreate my life around helping people, great people like you, just interface between social media and business.
I mean, my background is journalism and broadcast journalism. So but I don't know how it comes across to you, but sometimes I feel when I'm on those things, my nerves come through. I get stilted a bit. It doesn't come across?
Not at all.
Really?
Not at all.
That's bizarre.
No, I thought you were very confident. You were very gentle. You were very knowledgeable. I devoured them.
I don't come across as arrogant?
Not at all.
Really?
No.
Oh.
We're always our own worst critic, right?
We are the worst. Anyway, Jonathan, look, I like everything you're saying. I like what I'm hearing. The one area that I think is a struggle for me is getting clients. Not even getting clients, getting through to prospects.
Yes, yes.
Getting the clients is another hill. I need to. Does Facebook? Can you qualify for certain socioeconomic group or not?
Absolutely.
You can?
Yeah.
Really?
And you can put income levels, and there's a lot we can go, and LinkedIn ads as well, but they're expensive.
LinkedIn is expensive, is it?
Well, for a cost per click advertising campaign, compared to Facebook, it's probably quadruple. It's technically a better qualified audience to begin with.
It is, though. So is it not worth it?
I've done LinkedIn campaigns and I have not been satisfied with results. And I have a much better strategy for LinkedIn that's way better than spending money anyway. So.
Oh, okay.
And it's called LinkedIn Articles. And you're a journalist. And
yeah.
That's
okay. But what about video articles?
100%.
I mean, I actually think that video articles are more engaging.
Absolutely. Yeah.
People, we live in a generation where people don't read. In fact, most of the millennials don't read books anymore.
Yeah.
That's why I had to do an audio for my book.
Yeah.
Because all the people I'm trying to sort of connect with, the people I work with who are not my generation, I have to give them audiobooks because they don't read.
No. And a part of it too is that people are so multitask driven these days.
Yeah.
So, they'll be on a treadmill, they'll be power walking, they'll be driving, and they can consume content.
Yeah.
So it's in some ways it's lazy, and in some ways it's efficiency. But most of my learning is consumed by audio.
Yeah, I think that
goes. Amazing little Bose earbud things.
Yeah.
Quality of sound is fantastic, and that's
how I agree.
But I love books. I mean, this has been my favorite of late.
Oh, really? Who is Michael Ovitz? Is that the swim guy?
No.
Who's Michael Ovitz? I know the name.
He was the Hollywood super agent.
Oh.
Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters, Schindler's List. He was the agent that put the director and the producers together and the lead actors. And he worked for an agency in Hollywood. He left. He took over Coca-Cola as an ad account. It's a fascinating read. There's a great podcast literally called this with Gary Vaynerchuk and Michael. One of the best reads I've had. And the guy is just genius. My daughter has a friend who works on...
Is this him writing it or somebody wrote it for him?
It's an autobiography.
It is autobiography.
Yeah. In just 20 years, I went from a complete unknown to being hailed as the most powerful man in Hollywood, invariably described as a gap-toothed, tightly scripted, secrecy obsessed super agent. And phenomenal read. And this is the kind of book that I really love to sit in a great chair with a glass of wine, and that's my favorite thing to do. But
tell me, Jonathan, I have a gap in my tooth. You think I have a chance?
Oh man! And the other thing is, I don't know if Britain is your ideal audience. There will be some.
Sorry, come again?
I don't know if the UK is your ideal audience.
It's funny you say that. I have been thinking about that a lot. But the problem is, in fact, Americans love me. They love listening to me. I know the accent helps.
It does.
It does. But I think and I did live there for 8 years.
Yeah.
So actually...
You get that.
I feel... I'll tell you what it is. It's... the Brits have a very different mindset. And they don't open up very easily, their mindset. And if they do, they leave the UK. Seriously.
No. Yeah.
I think it's the status quo in this place. Everything is very controlled. Everything is measured.
Yes.
They don't like people ruffling things.
Yeah.
They don't mind it if it's from outside.
No.
But locals can't do that.
No.
They're not taken seriously.
No.
But here's the point. This is another reason why I think coming with you might be a good thing for me to do, because you would expose me in North America much more, right? And you have a team behind you. You're not a one-man band. You're not one. You don't have 20 clients and you're trying to do 20 things for them and you can't reach.
Delegation is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
But I get so hands-on to begin with every client that we onboard.
Well, it's interesting. I got that from Kim. Now, how do I, coming back to prospects and clients.
Yes.
Now, I'm putting my cards down on the table with you.
Yeah.
I started this business technically in January 2018.
Okay.
I only have 3 clients. Now, I have other things. I had other balls going up in the air, doing a lot of other stuff, closing businesses, terminating stuff, doing this and that, trying to clean the thing. So I wasn't totally focused. And also the ramp up always takes time.
Mm-hmm.
I know that from my other businesses.
Yes.
And I know the deeper you dig, the higher your building can go up.
Yes.
So that's why, I did a book. I needed a book as a platform.
Yeah.
And now I've got an audio book coming out, literally, within a
picture of you in a studio recording.
Yeah. I don't know when to launch the Kindle, which will be instantaneous because it's ready to go almost. It's on. So I've got all these things happening. I've got a new website. I'm trying to get everything sorted. Trying to have a landing page. I started with Spirit of Gratitude because it wasn't just the name of the book, and it kind of was trying to reflect the spirit of St. Louis. We're crossing, trying to help people understand that you're crossing the ocean of your subconscious mind.
Got it.
Understand? This is a huge leap you're making.
Yes.
And you're on a journey.
Yes.
You have to recognize it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
Things take time. And that's why I did that. But people misunderstand. They think Spirit of Gratitude, it's sort of that woohoo stuff. And, they don't get it. So I think the brand has to be me.
It does, 100%.
And the Spirit of Gratitude is kind of like a landing page for workshops and retreats and whatever else I do. In your questionnaire, you asked some questions about, who is my ideal customer client? I put baby boomers, retired or retiring, those unhappy, depressed, reluctant, and unfulfilled souls, basically. What are the 3 insights about your ideal customer? They have energy, they need to communicate with people, and they have a need to feel useful. And if they're not, these people are dying.
Yes.
In retirement.
Yes.
Who are the list 3 to 5 of your top competitors? Now, all these people are several stratospheres and leagues above me. Mm-hmm. But the type of people that I look at, people like Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, Eckhart Tolle, one of your Canadian friends, Wayne Dyer. Mm-hmm. I kind of see is that the Zoom coming to an end?
No, it was, I turned my Slack off for an hour and I'll just pause it again. It's okay. One second. Okay. That should be fine. Yeah.
Right. So, I don't expect to be that now, but I expect at some point, 5-10 years from now, if I live that long, that I will kind of have an established following of people. And I'll kind of have I love the way you call it tribe. It's kind of a tribe, a community of people who are sort of like-minded and need to feed in order to get their daily energy dose.
Got it.
So that's the sort of thing I'm looking to do. So just to round up.
Have you followed Michael Hyatt at all?
I know the name, but I don't know enough
He was the head of
about it.
publishing for, I think it was Tyndall, and he retired, and now he has become a productivity guru, very much around mastering each and every minute and time blocking and taking a lot of time off, and he's created a mammoth empire out of his podcast and his productivity tips and stuff. Very well done.
Yeah. So here's another thing that, I'd love for you to show me how I should be doing this, and thinking creatively with some members of your team about, what subject topics would these people want to be hearing and listening to. Okay. I don't have anybody to brainstorm with this sort of stuff. So that's where it would be useful to do that. But ultimately, I'm looking for prospects and clients.
Of course.
But I need all the other stuff to go with it in order to serve these people.
Yeah.
So given that, I've looked on your website and I have no idea what package I should even be contacting. Now, that said, I can't do what Kim's doing. She's gone for the titanium.
You're splitting at the cost with Paul, though.
Oh, yeah, true. That's true.
Yes. But they had nothing. I mean, they had a manuscript.
Yeah, I know. You're right. You started from scratch. So which package would I start, Jonathan?
You have a great website, and it's in WordPress, so we can work it through. We have a lot of the training is very leveraged. So our social media bootcamp, our power content course, the public relations piece that we're bringing into that as well. It's all in that group, the Platinum group. Yeah. Platinum's for people who already have a branding and a website built, but they need to enhance it or make it work.
Right.
So, I mean, the difference with Titanium is we build the personal brand.
Oh, you build the whole package, everything.
We create the logos and all the graphics, and we build the website and SEO it. So that's the difference, and that's about the 20 grand difference is the physical work of building the website and the brand and all the collateral. So I could show you all the different characters in Gifted. We don't have actual pictures of them, but the silhouette, if you like, the characters, the graphics of all the different gifts and stuff. We've created all of that.
You created all of that.
We've done all of that as part of Titanium. Yeah. Oh, wow. So it's for me, it's like a white glove. And what I want to be able to say to people is when I set the scope, you will never come back to me and say, "Oh, I didn't know you didn't need that." Oh, why didn't we get this? It's 100% all in no matter what. And it's a 6-month window that we did with Paul and Kim. And by the end of June, I can't guarantee them New York Times bestselling status. I can't.
Nobody can.
Give it our best.
Yeah.
Industry advice is when you're self-publishing on your first book, it's a very tall order, but it's not impossible.
No. And I agree. I mean, New York Times bestseller is, if you get it, it's wonderful, but I don't think one should commit.
That's a proviso that we have. But other than that, they will have an amazing, they are starting to get an amazing website, introduction videos. I'm doing a series with them now every week where people are going to get to go deep. We've got a Facebook group coming. In fact, we're in the middle of editing your 4-minute voice clip of Balcazar to get some soaring crows just flying. I'm getting some stock photography video to animate the voice clip. So,
that's wonderful. It's great.
That's Titanium. I mean, and you don't need. Truthfully, I mean, you built the website, you've got the messaging, you've got the video, you've got social. They didn't have a Facebook page or anything set up. We only went live with them on Facebook last Friday, so we're a week today, and we'll probably hit 200 people by the weekend, I think. And I haven't spent any money on advertising, not a dollar.
So tell me, Jonathan, how do you propose that? How do you suggest we start actioning this?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I have to allocate some time, which, and obviously, I think you'd like to start very soon. And I don't
want to rush you. I want to do.
I don't think I could do anything this side of Easter, truthfully, at this point. But come late April. Because we're just finishing a project in Florida, which will be almost done by the end of April.
Okay.
And she was my first titanium of this season. So Karen's almost complete.
Right.
So once Karen's, I won't say out of my hair because carrying on, I'm actually going to keep her blog writing stories for her. And obviously I'm very committed to Kim and Paul, but after at the end of this month, I could find some time. So that's the first thing. Second of all, the platinum piece I really like because you get the best of three of us.
And who are the three? Would be yourself?
So there's myself, Lindsay Carlson, who Kim adores. Yep. She's both my web designer and also my web miracle worker. And she spent a lot, she's a journalist by profession, but came out of journalism because
there's no money.
Newspapers. So she is an expert in lead generation and website conversion, and super sweet, super talented lady as well. Raised 3 children by herself, which was just a travesty. But anyway, she has. So it speaks to her tenaciousness and excelled in learning as well. So, and then my third team member is a lady called Susan Elford, who's actually a Canadian PR professional. She worked for one of the premiers of Canada. She worked for BP when they had the oil crisis in the Gulf. And she is an expert in PR leverage, what we like to call public relationships, which is how we get you into the right places, be it podcasting or other people's live events or whatever. So between the three of us, I mean, I know all of the pieces. Am I the best at all of the pieces? No. So Susan's been with me 3 years. She was a graduate of our work, and then we got to know her so well that she joined it. So Platinum is awesome for that. But we also take you through the social media piece, and we also take you through the blogging piece. But it's not here you go, here's your homework, go do it. It's much more in this respect.
Interactive. It's interactive.
We have the business mastermind group, which is the one next to that. And that's all group training, but there's no done for you. And some people are fine with that. They just want to be trained and they just want the resources to ask questions. But I think you're in between business mastermind and titanium, which is what I call platinum, just to give it a name.
Sure. And what is the
25?
25.
Yeah. And that's over a period of 120 days, 4 months.
And what happens after that?
So, great question. We get to learn to love each other or not. And obviously you've had that experience with Get It Done. They've done their best. They probably didn't find your sweet spot, maybe because they're Toronto-based and they don't get quite where you are. I don't know.
Part of the problem.
I'm looking at the website. I'm not feeling. First of all, it doesn't fit my screen. The word "want more leads" is cut off in half. So straight out the gate, I'm just like, the picture is a stock picture of all 30-somethings sitting in an office with a whiteboard. It's like, well, so her ideal audience to me is not you. Looking at that, I hate stock photography for the best part, and I have to go way, way down to even find pictures of the team. And she's dressed in camouflage with a Che Guevara type hat, and it's like,
I know, I don't get that.
I don't. I mean, if that's her vibe and she's in downtown Toronto, it'll work. But I'm just being brutally honest as I look at this. Her website says updated in 2018, so she hasn't kept it up to date in terms of the footer. There's no privacy section for GDPR when I first arrived. I don't think that took me out of it. Her last blog was October 2018, so she hasn't blogged for 5 months.
Don't worry. And also, it's not just that. I think the fact that I wasn't able to deal with her direct, and I had to go through my local Hannah. It just, the communication breakdown was just, and she worked on Trello.
Yeah.
And I was struggling with Trello.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was struggling with. I wanted to vet. They never shared the ads going out.
Oh, okay.
And I was struggling with that. So yeah. Anyway, so
I think you know enough people, and I think you have enough connections to find your ideal clients quite quickly in a very different way.
My ideal clients are not in the UK. You say, where do you think they are?
I think they're in North America.
I want to pick your brain. Sorry, where do you think they are?
Well, the reason, I mean, that's why I live so close to North America, but I don't live in it because the politics and the healthcare is a disaster. And that was the reason I moved to Canada and not America.
Yeah.
Well, the politics now are a disaster. I mean, they've been interesting over the time, but what I love about Americans is they're willing to invest in themselves. And absolutely. You look at the people at Bob Proctor, the Kims, the Pauls, yourselves, you'll have dropped serious coin to enhance who you are and to push your boundaries. Most Brits, in my experience, are not willing to do that.
No, they're not.
Whereas Americans are just like, no problem. No, this will make a difference. So
the Brit will say, do you see sucker written on my forehead? I mean, they're very cynical. That's why.
Yeah, and not all, by any stretch.
They're not all.
If I was advertising for you, I wouldn't have gone out of the home counties. I mean, I would have just stayed in the Greater London area kind of thing and just...
Well, that's what we did after a month. Because the first month, it was very disappointing. We said, no, home counties. Yeah. But even the home counties, the reach wasn't right. So here's the thing. If we focus on North America, whether it's Canada, United States, a lot of the products have to sell online.
Yeah, they do.
They have to sell online. Yeah. And maybe once a month, if there's a big enough interest, I could literally fly in and do.
You could. I mean, you look at Bob's Paradigm Shift event at the end of April.
Sure.
I mean, it's long since sold out, and the only thing he can sell right now is live streaming. And I'm finding more and more people love this kind of communication piece. I mean, I have a broadcasting microphone and stuff here typically, so I've got my hands free, so I don't have to have the earbuds and stuff. But a lot of people are very comfortable, and it's time efficient to meet in privacy. I have it recorded, so I think this is how I do all business. So even with local people, I have to drive. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Can we just not Zoom? Well, I want to meet you. I know, but it's an hour each way.
Time is money. Time is money. Yeah. And that, you're absolutely right.
So in terms of commuting with the US, 5-hour difference to the East Coast, it's not too bad. 8 hours to my kind, not too bad. A lot of people have got a job and they want to talk after the day is done anyway. So that ties in. That may not tie in so much with ideal time. I saw we have a mutual connection in Dr. Peter Fricker.
Yes. I met him at JT Fox.
Right. So Peter worked with me, and I used to work with him at 9 o'clock at night, my time, which was very early in the morning for him because it was the only time we could make work. And fascinating.
What time is good for you generally? I mean, for me, evenings is fine to work. For you, it's early morning, but I'm not sure that you can do this every morning.
For me, any time from 7 a.m. onwards, is my sweet spot. So between 7 and 10 a.m., 11 a.m. are typically my best times for.
Okay, so 7.
So 3 in the afternoon to 7 in the evening is ideal for me. For you.
Okay, that's great.
So we could do that, and then
that's wonderful.
And then from that, I'd love to play. I mean, you need to be on other people's stages. You don't need your own events, and that's what I would do. And that's how I do it. I don't run my own events.
How do you approach that how do you approach people? What type of people do you approach for? I mean, do you have any idea about these things and what you want to do? All right, listen, Jonathan, I'm sorry, after the 4 months, the 25 days.
Yes, so what we would do at that point, obviously we would hope to have a lot of traction.
Yeah.
Is I have a done for you team in my home. I mean, we live in a 3-story home. The basement, which is underneath me, it's not a Victorian basement, it's a walkout basement. And it's our version of Starbucks. It's a shared working space down there. And I have 4 different people in video creation, graphic design, and writing right underneath me. And that's how we do it. And so when I finish a meeting, I'll literally walk down there and say, I just met this incredible fellow. His name is George. And he has this book called Sacred Gifts. And he did this tour to the Holy Land. And he knows all about the Byzantine Empire. And oh my goodness, there's so much that we could pull out of, what you know. And they get all excited before they've even watched this video kind of thing. So that's how we do it. So then typically what happens, and you can see, I'm a Post-it note kind of guy, as you are.
Yes.
These are all different clients and different stages of where we work with them. Most of the people in that middle column
Yeah.
have been with me 4+ years.
Wow.
Because once we get the sweet spot and we get their voice, they just stay.
Yeah.
And they stay in retainer, and we do the blogs, the social media, the video creation on a month-to-month, year-to-year basis.
What you seek is seeking you. You're seeking clients that have stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm looking for guys I can stick to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously. And, you know, I'm actually very excited with everything you're saying. I'm very excited because I think finally I am going to have liftoff.
Oh, for sure.
And so what do you do after 4 months with you? I'm intrigued because I can see this 4 months is going to come and go.
It does.
In a flash.
Yeah. And typically at that point, we'd be at the point, we'd have a 12-month calendar ahead of us.
Right.
Of what this looks like. So me getting you into somebody else's event in New York or wherever, and us having your own webinar, for sure. So that you would actually broadcast out maybe once a month. Maybe we could even turn it into an evergreen webinar so that people don't know that you're showing up live.
Yeah.
We would man the chat room, so someone would man the chat as if somebody's there. And that would be an amazingly effective lead funnel for us without you having to do it live all the time.
Right.
And then just have a structure of just how we filter. Because you don't want 100 clients, I'm guessing. You just want a very good quality of depth. But then there's nothing to stop us creating programs that would work for you.
Make money while you sleep.
Make money while you sleep. Exactly right.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And I don't actually want more than 100 clients. I think, what do they call lifetime clients? When you've got clients who are with you all the time, okay? Where it's a joy when you're communicating with them.
Yeah.
If they've got a problem, you solve it for them, and then you're happy because they're happy.
Yeah. That's
wonderful. And seeing progress, if you do 1,000 or 10,000, it's meat processing plant.
No, I know. Yeah. And that's why I did, even today, I still deliver my programs live. I don't sell anything off the shelf. I will give people access to it if they buy a program, if they want to learn early. Mm-hmm. But I've deliberately, because we do so much VIP work as well, one-on-one, I don't mass market myself because I don't believe I am a mass market product. There's a lot of people on Udemy and that will sell you social media 101 for $49 and they can go do it. I don't want it. It's not my thing. So we would get to know each other. We would have a strategy together for what the next year would look like. And then just like this, I'm in that speaking world. I'm in the large event space a lot. I mean, I've just done 5 in the last so many weeks almost, which was too many. But
do you do a lot of traveling yourself, Jonathan?
I do, yeah.
Where do you travel to?
So in the last 6 weeks, I've done Dallas, Las Vegas, Palm Springs, San Diego, Sacramento.
And what are you doing there?
Well, first of all, having a blast with my wife because she always travels with me.
Okay.
We call them workations.
Love it.
I went to Dallas to speak at a conference for single owner-operated cleaning companies. So there was 140 different businesses at this convention, and it's run by a lady who is probably the queen of maid service of North America. Her name is Debbie Sardone. She's a multimillionaire and started her own cleaning business. She helps business owners become what they call mop-free, so that they run a very profitable maid service, if you like.
Wow.
I was her keynote speaker on marketing, gave them a very, very good keynote on what they should be doing in 2019. And out of that, 56 people came to me and said, how can we learn from you? And we created a training program for the cleaning industry.
Wow. Hey.
It's worked. Went to Las Vegas, did a one-on-one with a client who lives there, and then we went to a Robbie Williams concert, if you know who Robbie Williams is.
Yes.
First time he's played the United States. He's never played the US.
Are you serious?
Yeah, never done it. 80 million records and never come to the United States.
No way.
Mm-hmm. Way.
His wife's American.
Yeah, I know. They live in 20 minutes from Vegas. My helicopter.
Oh my God.
So it was his first US tour. It was at the Wynn Hotel, 1,600 seat theater. The ratio was, he's doing Hyde Park July 12th to 150 people, 150,000 people. So I did Vegas, so we did some work, and two of my clients sort of flew in, so we worked together with them. I worked with a client. That was great. Drove to Palm Springs, spent 3 days just catching up with client calls and writing. We have a timeshare there. And then I went to San Diego, went to Social Media Marketing World for 4 days, which was my annual convention, meeting all of my colleagues and speaking. Came back for a couple of days and then went back to Sacramento to speak at another conference it was a smaller one for entrepreneurs who have set up a business, but they just haven't got traction yet. And this lady has the systems to get lead generation and traction, and I did the marketing piece. And and on top of that, then I come back and work with the Kims and the Pauls and yourself out the world that I love. And that's my balance. It makes my marriage very sweet. And, and it's all written off too.
Wow. So this is great, Jonathan. I think I get it that you can't really spend time on this until after Easter, which is fine. That's
what we can do is we can induct you straight away, because I actually have my next live social media course starting on Tuesday.
Tuesday
night.
Night. Oh, thank God for that. Which
Tuesday the 9th, and it's delivered at 2 p.m. So it's 10 o'clock at night for you, I'm afraid. But
no, that's okay. That's actually good.
It's very consumable.
Okay, so this is April the 9th, Tuesday.
Yes. 2 p.m.
2 p.m., which is 10 p.m. UK.
Yeah, and then it's a 2-part training per week. So the next part is Thursday, it'll be Thursday the 11th, but that's at 10 a.m. So that's 8 p.m. So 6 p.m. for you.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that runs for 5 straight weeks.
5 straight weeks, twice a week.
Yes.
So it's 10. Okay. So just starting to go back to the post 120 days, we plan out a 12-month.
We create a calendar for you.
Right.
Which will give you content and ideas and themes for the whole 12 months. So even if you were to sort of bless and release us, you wouldn't be left high and dry. You would have a strategy for 12 months already in a Excel document, but it's calendared out with different graphics and videos and content. And from that, then we can either work with you to deliver that, which we would love to do. Because if we feel an affinity by the end of 4 months, we're just getting going in some ways.
Yeah,
in terms of maturing a relationship, but we've got all the pieces in place. We know what's converting. We know what we need to do more of. And then you go on to a monthly retainer where, depending on how much we do for you, typically around $2,500 a month for everything, including the blog writing, the graphics, some video production. And
that sounds very doable. That sounds great. Now, I think we're almost there. We've got everything. So where do we go from here? How do we do this?
So you've already printed out my form by the sounds of it.
I have. I was
happy to jump on and get to know you, so I wasn't being salesy at all.
No. I think it says, either fill this form in or we can chat.
Yeah. One thing I want to do straight away is I want to redo your email signature because the graphic is
terrible,
not very good quality. I was trying to find your phone number, and as I blew it up to read it, it went pixelated on me.
Yeah. I don't know what to do.
Get a new e-signature.
I've got the branding. It was done actually by a German company.
I like it. Yeah.
They did a really good job, but it's just that I don't know how to process that onto the signature.
Oh,
without
that's easy.
But what do you think of the logo and both for the Spirit of Gratitude and George Jurgen and the emoticon? Is it emoticon? No, favicon.
Yeah.
Favicon is the word I think it's called.
So let me share my screen again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So very similar to, I love the video. I love the color. You've got your name all in capitals. Some people might say
it's too small.
It's also when you type in all caps, it means that you're shouting at somebody.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if we should have uppercase G and J and maybe lowercase. I'd play with that a little bit.
Okay.
I have a second website that you may not even have seen. Where is it? I think I had it. Anyway, it's just my name.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes up. But this is my speaker site, but you can see how my name's got a little bit more character to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then straight to, discover Jonathan's story. So this,
Yes.
I didn't know you were married. I didn't know you had grown children.
Yeah.
I read between a lot of the lines. I mean,
Yeah.
but this is my world. In fact, funny enough, I'm wearing that shirt. But,
is that my shirt? You're wearing my shirt.
That's who I am. And, telling stories on what I do and all the different pieces, the media kit that we would get you as a speaker. This is a page we don't have. And then the blog is definitely something that we don't have. So we would look at that. But
yes.
tweaks, just tweaks, not reworking anything. The gratitude heart.
You know what they are. You know what it is, don't you?
Do you know what? I don't.
It's my initials, GJ, written in the shape of a heart.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't get that.
It's my little secret. I don't want anybody to know it. But the reason it's a heart is because that's exactly what's on.
Okay, I see where you're going with it now.
The cover of the book.
Yeah.
So I use the heart because also the whole concept of the subconscious mind is the feminine.
Yeah.
And so the heart.
Yes.
Very, some guy looked at it and says, bit feminine, this, isn't it? I go, if you think so.
I'd love to read it. I also want to read your book about your Holy Land pilgrimage.
Oh, right. No, yeah, that was just, it's a travelogue, really.
I would love to go to Israel. It's huge on my list. A client of mine last year managed to get me to go to a Passover Seder with a local rabbi last Passover. And the whole theater of what they go through on the Seder is just amazing. I so appreciate history like that. So when I saw that book, I went, oh, now that's something I want to read.
Yeah, it was a great, amazing experience. And the thing is that when you're there, there's layers of stuff.
I'm sure.
There's layers of stuff. I thought these holy sites, the Christian holy sites, were probably made up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he was born right there. Some Arab geezer telling, give me 5 shekels, right? It's right over there.
Yeah.
And I discovered, because I asked questions. I'm a journalist by trade.
Yes.
Ask questions. And I asked the Palestinian Arab Christian, I said, how do we know these are the actual places? I mean, it strikes me that, and I speak a little bit of Arabic. So I said to him, come on, don't talk to me like I'm a foreigner. I said, I understand what goes on here. Okay. I said, how do we know that this actually happened here?
Yes.
I'm sure some of the local merchants must have fooled Queen Helena when she came down to check these places out. He goes, no. There's a very good answer. And I go, what? And it's in the books. I got it. He said, Emperor Hadrian hated Christians and Jews.
Yes.
And when he came to the Holy Land, he decided, because the Christians for about 120 years were coming for pilgrimages to all these sites. But they were ramshackle pilgrimage sites. Most of those Christians were not wealthy people.
No.
So it was ramshackle, And Hadrian came and said, he didn't like the idea that all these people were venerating other gods. He was a god. So he decided to raise every single one of these places. And in its place, he planted sites for Roman gods. And that's how they were preserved. So actually we have to thank him for that, because years later when Queen Helena Constantine's mother, came to
Yeah.
the Holy Land.
Yeah.
So she came with all the Roman maps of what was where. So that completely changed my whole perception that these sites are not just a tourist attraction. There's something deeper and more. So it was an amazing experience for me. You definitely have to do it at some point.
We have a list, and I had a relative who, in the 1800s who was with the BCMS. Anyway, SAMS, South American Missionary Association, and he went to South America and went to Tierra del Fuego, and family tradition was that he was eaten by cannibals. Anyway,
holy shit!
He wasn't. He died of scurvy because in South America, on the tip of South America, they don't grow anything. They just eat fish and whale blubber, and there was nothing to grow, and he couldn't cope. But I was fascinated to follow the footsteps. So Debbie and I we did an end of the world cruise over New Year, and that was big check off my mark. Was like, now I know. But Israel is, wow, it's totally up there.
Yeah. But I would, don't go on your own. Go with a group of friends. It will be and arrange to have good guides to lead you there, and you will have an amazing time.
I would love to. I did Old Testament history. As one of the things you won't read about me is that I was also almost ordained in the Church of England.
Oh, really?
I have a license there from the Diocese of Guildford, and so I had the office of reader. If you know what that means. And I did another year of pastoral studies, and I had one more year to go, but I had to go to theological college to be ordained. And I just said, I don't want to be a vicar. You know, I can make a difference, but I don't need this little white piece on my collar, and I don't need to take a year out of my life. I know what I know, and I can explain it very, very well, and I'm just going to do it the way I do it. So I rebelled.
Listen, you were supposed to go on that journey. That's the way you got to look at it. You know, all these things that you do, there's no right and wrong. It leads you to where you are now. And I think that's an amazing story. And you've just given yourself another ticket for me to like you even more. It means you're a deep man. And seriously, I'm impressed, very impressed. And it's really wonderful to have made this connection, Jonathan.
Absolutely.
You're actually way nicer than Kim even portrayed you, although she was superlative. So yeah, seriously, it's been wonderful engaging with you. So you got to tell me how.
Yes. Okay. So you will get an email from us.
Yeah.
From a lady called Anna, who is British, but lives in Canada now. So
right.
And her job is to make your life easier. So she'll send you some onboarding documents. I'll arrange for you to jump into the workshop. I'm not worried about money or anything like that. We'll just get some logistics together.
Okay.
And we'll talk again. And then, because I should be somewhere else. We'll just on board and we'll make it happen.
Fantastic. Jonathan,
but I would say the Platinum Plan is probably the right one for you.
Okay.
If that works. And no rush. But consider yourself in the roster.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed.
Have a great evening.
You too. Oh my God. We've been at this for
little while.
An hour and a half. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it, John.
Absolutely my pleasure.
Yeah.
It's
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Okay. Thank you. Have a great day. Cheers.
Bye-bye.